If you are a parent, a teacher, a policymaker, or just someone who gives a damn about the next generation, I need you to really hear this. The question here is, are we teaching them how to use AI wisely, ethically, and creatively? Your teenager doesn't come to you always anymore with their problems. They go to ChatGPT. Yes, you heard me right. And it's not because we lack smart people. Belgium is full with brilliant educators, creative innovators, but we lack leadership. We lack bold decisions. We lack a national plan. Today is going to be a very hard conversation. I need to speak from my gut and not just from the heart, because something has been bothering me and I want to share this with you. This is not a trend, this is not a vibe, and it's definitely not a clickbait headline. This is about our kids. This is about our future and how we as a country, as a continent, are failing them. And almost no one is talking about it. So I really hope you stay until the end of this podcast, because sometimes difficult conversations are really necessary to have. So, if you are a parent, a teacher, a policymaker, or just someone who gives a damn about the next generation, I need you to really hear this. Let me tell you about a conversation that I had just recently. She's a teacher, a good one, a kind one, a passionate one. So a few weeks ago, we sat together with a glass of wine and I asked her, hey, what is your school doing with AI? She answered, not much really. You know, it's not about ChatGPT, it's not about personalized learning, not about the fact that artificial intelligence is already reshaping our education in countries like China and Estonia. You know, and she's definitely not alone. Most people I meet here in Belgium and in Europe are still thinking AI is something futuristic, sci-fi, techie, for nerds. Oh yeah, and you know, those tools like ChatGPT, wow, they're really fun. I am not talking about language models like ChatGPT and Claude and so many others, which we really love to use. No, let me break it to you. That mindset, that denial, that's what's killing the future of our kids. Let me give you a few numbers that should help you to really start thinking about this. In Estonia, one of the smallest countries in Europe, they launched an AI leap in 2025. This fall, 20,000 students and 3,000 teachers will be trained to use AI tools in classrooms. Estonia is collaborating with international AI developers like OpenAI and Anthropic and effectively implement these in technologies and education. This partnership highlights Estonia's commitment to integrating advanced technologies into their classroom. Estonia positions itself as a front runner in AI education in Europe. Their aim is to equip both students and teachers with the skills needed for the digital age we're entering in right now. By 2027, 58,000 students will have had structured AI education. Now let's zoom out to Beijing. Beijing just made AI education mandatory in all primary and secondary schools starting from September 1st this year, 2025. All students will get AI lessons each year, even as young as 6-year-olds. But you know, China and Estonia aren't the only ones that are moving forward. In Portugal, in Spain, teachers are already trained to use ChatGPT in classrooms. In Spain, over half of students are already using AI in classrooms. And while countries like the Netherlands and UK are developing frameworks to guide AI in schools, in Belgium, we're cutting school budgets for laptops. A lot of children still don't have access to laptops here. No, We are debating if phones should be banned from classrooms. And listen, I'm not saying they shouldn't be banned in classrooms. I'm just saying the rest of the world is teaching kids how to use AI tools responsibly, ethically, and creatively. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking. But no, the Minister for Education here in Belgium says we need to go back to old school because, the kids are falling behind. It's not just the difference in tech, it's a difference in urgency, in vision, in how much we believe in our own future. Now, I can hear some of you saying, but Jacky, why does it matter so much? Why do kids need to learn at a young age about AI anyway? Well, AI is not optional anymore. It's everywhere. It's in job interviews, in healthcare, in media. It writes ads, it analyzes data, it makes financial decisions. It's in your smartphone, it's in your email, it's your online shopping cart. If our kids leave school right now at 18 without understanding how AI works, how it learns, how it fails, what it's good at or bad, they're already behind 12 years in a world that's moving at light speed. AI in education doesn't mean replacing teachers. It means embracing what they do, and it means personalizing learning, giving students feedback in real time. It's like giving every child a personal coach, but then one that can adapt in milliseconds. And let's be clear, kids are already using AI, with or without school support, with or without parent support. The question here is, are we teaching them how to use AI wisely, ethically, and creatively? Or are we just leaving them to figure it out on their own, like the use of social media, and look what that brought us? And here's what really worries me. Most parents aren't clueless. They are very uninformed and are left out of the conversation. Many parents haven't even had the chance to truly explore what AI is or what it means for their children. And let's be honest, how can we guide them through something we're still figuring out ourselves? And here's the kicker that worries me most. We're about to make the same mistake we made with social media. We gave the kids unlimited access without support. We allowed and let algorithms shape their identity, their self-worth, their social life. And by the time we realized it, the damage was already done. They already were completely lost in the digital social media world. Listen to me, parents, please. This cannot happen again. Time and time again, I heard, even today, still today, if there's anything about Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, I'm gonna ask my son, I'm gonna ask my daughter. They're way better at that than me. Really? AI is not just another tool. It's a system that can shape how they learn, think, create, and connect. We need to be present. We need to understand it with them, not after them. This time, let's not play catch up, but please, let's lead. But before we continue, I need to really get very specific about something that's happening right now in homes across the world. Something that should make every parent stop and think, where are your kids going with their problems? In the beginning of this podcast, I said this was going to be a very difficult conversation. Well, here it comes. I need to tell you something that might hurt. Your teenager doesn't come to you always anymore with their problems. They go to ChatGPT. Yes, you heard me right. Your 15-year-old who used to come to your room and talk about school and friends and heartbreaks and boyfriends and girlfriends, they're now sitting at 2 a.m. typing to an algorithm, an AI, ChatGPT. Why do I feel so alone? Why nobody understands me? Why do my parents don't understand me? Why do I get bullied at school? What should I do? What should I say? I'm going through my first heartbreak as a teenager. I lost my girlfriend. I lost my boyfriend. Am I enough? And you know what's the worst part? ChatGPT answers. Always, at any moment, without judgment, without sighing. And without that, we'll talk about it later, because right now it's not the right time. And that later, most of the time, never comes. Are you okay with that? Do you want your child to share their deepest fears, their identity crisis, their first heartbreak with a machine instead of you? But guess what? We're all doing the same thing. How many times did you choose the convenience of a digital answer instead of a real conversation with a friend, a therapist, or even your partner? We're all guilty. But here's the difference. You're an adult. You've already learned how relationships work. Your teenager hasn't. And while we think that this is just a phase, a generational thing, there are countries where grown adults have intimate relationships with AI, romantic relationships, emotional dependency. People who rather talk to their AI girlfriend or boyfriend than to have a relationship with a real person. Do you want that for your son or daughter? Do you want them at 25 no longer know how to have a real conversation with a person? For those of you who've never heard this, you might be very shocked, but it's going on. And it's not in one country or two countries. There are several countries where it's going on, and it's not getting better. The bad news is it's where we headed. Not in 20, not in 10 years' time, but now. And you might be thinking, but Jacky, AI can give us good advice too. Yeah, right. Absolutely. I totally agree. But it can't love. And it can't hold you. And it cannot look into your eyes and say, I see you. I feel your pain. And I'm staying with you. It can't share the silence that sometimes says a lot more than words. AI gives answers. Parents give love. We're entering a time where we really don't really know where we're headed, not even the ones that create it. But you can, as a parent, take responsibility for this. Please, our children need us because right now they're choosing what's available, and that never disappoints them. And we let it happen. If you think that's not happening at your home, think again, because it is. This isn't just a technology problem. This is a crisis of human connection, and that starts at home. It starts with you. Our children don't need a perfect parent. They need a real parent. A parent that's there, not perfect, but present. A parent who chooses the difficult conversations. A parent who doesn't run away when it gets uncomfortable. It starts today with you putting your phone away when your child walks in, with asking questions without an agenda, with admitting you don't have all the answers, with showing that real love sometimes means searching for answers together. Because ultimately, this is a choice. Do we let our children grow up with AI as their best friends? Or do we make sure that they know that they have a home with you? That there's always a place where they're welcome with their whole messy, beautiful humanity. The choice is yours. The time is now. I really had my share of surgeries and recoveries and pain. And in those quiet months, I've watched the world change. AI isn't coming. It's already here. But it breaks my heart to see how many schools, teachers, policymakers are sleeping at the wheel. And to be very honest, I'm pissed because we're walking to the edge of a cliff while others are building drones to fly over it. And it's not because we lack smart people. Belgium is full with brilliant educators, creative innovators, but we lack leadership. We lack bold decisions. We lack a national plan. And meanwhile, the children grow up and we say sorry with a very adult voice when it's too late. This is about equity, opportunity, and resilience. Because here's the ugly truth. If we don't teach AI in all schools and only the rich ones will learn, in private schools, in elite schools, tech-savvy parents, and the rest, they'll graduate into a world where they will already be obsolete. We'll create a new digital divide. And this is not just between North and South. This is between kids in the same city, in the same streets, kids who got the tools and kids who won't. That is not a future I want for you. So what really needs to happen? We need leadership. We need ministers and school directors to stop waiting for situations and to start acting. We need equity. Give every student access to basic AI tools. Don't let budget cuts decide who gets to learn and who doesn't. We really need open conversations. Talk to your kids about AI. Ask schools what they're doing. Share resources, build awareness. We need to stop fearing the new. AI is not the enemy. Ignorance is. Before I close, I want to leave you with a thought from someone I deeply respect. This man is Mo Gawdat, former chief business officer at Google X and author of the wonderful book Scary Smart. A book that everyone raising kids or shaping the future or wants to be ahead really should read. In it, he writes, how we treat AI today is how AI will treat us tomorrow. Mo Gawdat, Scary Smart. And he's right. Because AI learns from us. What we reward, what we ignore, how we behave, and what we value. If we feed it fear, ego, and control, we shouldn't be surprised when it reflects that back to us. But if we lead with love, ethics, and compassion, we might just raise something beautiful. And there's another line in the book that I absolutely love and should be a wake-up call for every parent. Should be a wake-up call for all of us. We are going to raise the most intelligent being on the planet. The question is, will we raise it like a wise parent or as an absent one? You really need to buy that book, whether it's an Audible or it's the book, but you need to get the book. Scary Smart from Mo Gawdat. So maybe the real question isn't what will AI become, but rather what are we becoming in a society as parents and leaders? This isn't just about algorithm. This is about who we are and what kind of world we're shaping, one decision at a time. And one final note, one that's been on my heart for a while. We often say that your standards in life are shaped by the 5 people you surround yourself the most with. But what if that standard is too low? What if we are slowly adapting to a version of a normal that actually is broken? We live in a time where world leaders openly insult each other on the news, where public bullying, lies, and tearing down of values is a part of a daily broadcast, where loudness is mistaken for strength and cruelty for power, and somehow we call this leadership. What kind of an example are we setting for our children, our kids? Because let me be very clear here. What we normalize today will reflect in AI tomorrow. And then there is AGI, artificial general intelligence. And this one will not just process our data, it will absorb our values, our tone, our behavior. If we allow bullying, division, and disrespect to become the norm, we are teaching the most powerful intelligence we've ever created that this is how humans lead. And that is not a future I want. This is not a standard I'm willing to accept. We can and must do better, together as a collective, as conscious adults, because AI will mirror not what we build, but who we are while building it. If you're still here, I'm going to ask you for a very big favor. I need this podcast to go viral. And here's why. The people who made it to the end of this podcast, you're one of the 3% with a different mindset. It's the 97% who clicked away that I'm really concerned about. The parents scrolling past, the teachers who think, oh, this doesn't apply to me, the policymakers waiting for someone else to step in first. They're the ones that needs to hear this message. They're the ones whose kids are already talking to ChatGPT at 8 a.m. instead of them. They're the ones whose schools are falling behind with other countries racing ahead. They're the ones who will say, nobody told us this, when it's too late. So please, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Share this episode with as many parents as you can, especially those ones that always complain about technology but never do anything to learn it. Forward this to your school boards. Share this in your communities and church communities. Make this impossible to ignore. This is about our children. This is about us, about surviving and not being left behind in a world that's changing rapidly. Help me reach the people who stopped listening. They're the ones who need it the most. So I'm asking you, parent to parent, teacher to teacher, citizen to citizen, wake up, speak up. Push this conversation forward. Send this podcast to your school directors, to your local politician. Ask them, what are we doing to prepare our children for the world that's already here? We can't wait 5 years. We can't afford to, because AI is not waiting for us. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for listening and thank you for your patience. It's really appreciated. And I believe that our children deserve better, not someday, but now.